Hi everyone, Steve Chrysler here. Today I want to talk about the 5 W's and the H. You might have heard of this common phrase before, the 5 W's, and somewhere along the line they added an H. I've known about kind of this thing my whole life, which I've been around for a while now, so it's been around a long time, the 5 W's and the H. The who, what, where, when, why, and how. This pertains to a bookkeeping and or tax practice. I'll talk about both, how it affects both. And this is about having your own bookkeeping and or tax practice. All right. So these are really about the freedoms that you get to have when having your own bookkeeping and or tax prep business. The first one is who. I didn't know this when I first started out. I didn't know that I could be choosy about who I worked with. I just moved to California and I was broke and I was afraid and I needed work, so I was taking on anything that came my way, and it took me time to realize that some clients are not, they end up being a lot more work than what they're worth, and they eat into, if you're spending time dealing with difficult clients, it's taken away your opportunities to work with and get non-difficult clients. So over time, you start to kind of see who is going to be easy to work with and what industries that you like to work with. It's nice to work in industries with companies that do things that you enjoy or that you have some interest in or something in common with. So, and then also when you're first starting out, especially, you want to start with easy clients and being able to determine what an easy client is. Somebody that is going to be difficult to work with, you start to be able to identify those further and further away earlier in the process, so that you can actually make a decision whether or not that's the type of client that you want to work with. That it's really important, and also the type of industry and the complexity of the client that you want to work with. It's really important that you be able to be choosy about who you work with, especially when you're starting out. Well, really all through the process, but you always want to have good clients and people that you enjoy working with. All right, so keep that in mind. That's a beautiful freedom. If you're working for somebody else, you don't have that luxury, and it's also if you're doing a 9-to-5 job, like I did many years ago, and hated. I had coworkers that I really didn't enjoy being around. So that's another thing, is you get control. So it's freedoms and control that these things really lay out for you or provide you. So you don't have to be working with people that are not people you want to be around. That's a beautiful freedom that you have when you have your own business. All right, so the what is the what? Another really important thing that I didn't learn until as years went by and I gained experiences, you don't have to take on every type of job. And you don't have to do like I don't do payroll. I will not do payroll. But some bookkeepers do, some practices do. And as far as taxes are concerned, I don't do all, I used to take on any tax client, and no matter how difficult it was, and I'd be getting in over my head on some, which is not good, especially when you're talking about people's numbers, bookkeeping and or taxes. So you don't want to take on just anything that comes your way. You want to be choosy about the type of work that you take on. You may want to only work with really easy clients. You might enjoy more complex clients as you gain experience. You may like to do kind of everything, payroll and bookkeeping and taxes, but some people just like doing taxes and simple taxes. You don't have to do all kinds of taxes. You can just do individual taxes. You can just do business taxes. You can choose what types of business taxes you want to do. So the beautiful thing is that everybody has to have their taxes done pretty much. Every business there is has to have bookkeeping and their taxes done. So there's so many potential clients out there that you can be choosy about what areas of expertise you want to get experience in, and just work in those areas if you want. There's bookkeeping and tax businesses out there that will take anything, and then there's those that but you do have the opportunity to be choosy, and I'm very choosy about what clients I take on nowadays. So it's really nice to be able to have that freedom and control. All right, the where. What is the where? If you have a laptop and internet access, you can do bookkeeping and taxes from anywhere. I know people that literally travel all across the country in a van and do this type of work. So you can get clients from anywhere, and you can work on those clients from anywhere as long as you have internet access and a laptop. You can have a big, fancy setup like I have here with 2 screens and stuff like that. But I also do work off of a laptop. I just came back from the mountains for 5 days, and I just had my laptop. I was working off that. I had my son, and I'd put in a couple hours in the morning, then we'd play all day. That's makes it really nice to be able to work where you want. And then that leads into the when. Working when you want to work. When you have your own business, you can work. I'm an early bird, I get up early. I can knock out 2 hours in the morning really easily, and then go about my day, have fun with my son, do different hobbies that I enjoy, bounce back in, do an hour of work, do some other stuff, and then put in an hour at night, that kind of thing. So, some days I just sit down and crank out a lot of work, and some days I don't work much at all. So being able to work when you want, huge freedom, control, it's beautiful. All right, and then the why, because we can. That's what's great about it. Why work a 9-to-5 job that you hate, working with people that you may not like, having a boss maybe you don't like, doing the type of work that you really don't like, having to go somewhere to do that work is, I see it all the time. I see people in rush hour traffic every day, and I'm like, I'm constantly reminded that I'm very grateful for being able to work for myself, and not have to go to an office and sit there all day in a cubicle. I did that. I did it for 3 years, from 2000 to 2003. I was a staff accountant, a miserable existence in a cubicle in a building without windows. So if you see my webinar, I talk about that. But so that's the why, because we can, and we only go around once. We have one life to live. Let's live it, and work in a controlled way so that you can live your life. That's why. All right. And then how can you go about doing all this? Well, I can help. I have a free webinar that I recommend you start there. I have a course that costs money, but if you haven't seen my webinar, I recommend you start there, because I talk about myself and the path that I've taken to get to where I am today. I have 20 years of experience in bookkeeping and tax, and I've been sharing that and helping people start and grow their own bookkeeping and tax businesses for the last 3 years. And I still do bookkeeping and taxes. I'm a licensed CPA of 20 years, and so I can help you do it. I can, but you should start with the webinar. Watch that first. Like I said, it talks about myself and my path. It talks about common misconceptions that people have, maybe you have, about what it takes to have your own bookkeeping and or tax business, and working from home and having a virtual business. I talk about all that. And then I also talk about the business plan and how you can do it yourself and how I can help you. And that's where it comes into where you can take my course if you want. It is a paid course, but I help you all along the way. I give you all the information, training, experience, tools, logo, website, all that good stuff comes with the program. So, but start with the webinar if you haven't seen that. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm always around to answer your questions. steve@bookkeepinglife.com, whether you're interested in taxes or bookkeeping business of your own. Just use that email. And I check it all throughout the day, and I always reply. All right, so shoot me an email if you have any questions, steve@bookkeepinglife.com, and I'll help you out as much as I can. All right, so but start with the link so that to the webinar. If you haven't seen the webinar, it's the best place to start. All right, and you can learn more about me and the program and all that good stuff, and how this might be a good fit for you. It might not, but it might. Lots of freedoms. And control of your own life. That's what it's all about. All right, I hope you have a great day, and reach out to me if you have any questions. All right, take care.